Sweet dreamers, welcome to a new magical story. Today's story is about Boris the brave beaver and his adventurous dream. Long, long ago, in a beautiful forest filled with tall trees and babbling brooks, lived a brave beaver named Boris. Boris wasn't an ordinary beaver, no, he was the bravest beaver of them all. He had a thick, fluffy coat and sharp teeth that could gnaw through trees as if they were nothing. On a warm summer night, as the stars twinkled in the sky and the moon cast its silver light over the forest, Boris lay asleep in his cozy beaver den. His eyes slowly closed, and he began to dream of adventures. In his dream, Boris suddenly found himself on the bank of a big, rushing river. He could hear the sound of the gushing water and feel the fresh breeze against his thick fur. Boris looked around and saw a beautiful wooden canoe lying there. He knew this was the beginning of a great adventure. With his sharp teeth, Boris began to gnaw the canoe free from the shore and gently pushed it into the water. He leapt skillfully into the canoe and grabbed the paddle lying beside him. With powerful strokes, he started to paddle downstream, his thick tail splashing in the water. Along the way, Boris met all sorts of forest animals. A family of ducks swam happily beside him, and a curious heron flew alongside him for a while. They told Boris stories of their adventures in the forest and laughed at his brave dream. As Boris continued to paddle, he came to a waterfall. The water rushed downward, and the mist sprayed onto his face. But Boris wasn't afraid. He used all his strength to conquer the waterfall, and with a mighty leap, he safely landed on the other side. Finally, Boris reached the place where the river flowed into a beautiful lake. The sun began to rise, painting the sky with the most beautiful shades of pink and orange. It was breathtakingly beautiful. Boris felt a deep sense of contentment. He knew that his dream adventure was coming to an end, but he had experienced something incredible. With a smile on his face, he returned to his cozy beaver den and woke up in his warm bed. As the first rays of the morning sun filtered through the trees, Boris realized that adventures in dreams can be just as real and special as adventures in the real world. He settled back into his den and fell into a deep, satisfied sleep, ready to experience more fantastic dreams. Boris and the Otter family. The following night, Boris the brave beaver settled into his cozy beaver den once again, eager for another extraordinary dream. This time, he hoped to explore new wonders and meet even more woodland friends. As Boris drifted off into the realm of dreams, he found himself in a different part of the forest. The moonlit path ahead led him to a mysterious clearing filled with fireflies. Their soft, twinkling lights created a magical spectacle that filled Boris with wonder. Boris decided to follow the fireflies, and they led him to the edge of a tranquil, moonlit pond. There, he saw something incredible: a family of friendly otters sliding down a natural water slide into the pond. Their joyful laughter echoed through the night, inviting Boris to join their playful adventure. With a grin on his face, Boris waded into the water and joined the otters in their watery escapades. They swam, played tag, and even had a friendly diving competition. Boris, with his powerful tail, made quite the splash as he executed graceful dives and somersaults, leaving the otters in awe of his bravery and skill. After the fun in the pond, Boris and the otters decided to explore the woods together. Along the way, they encountered a wise old owl perched on a branch. The owl shared stories of the forest's history and the secrets it held, filling Boris's heart with a newfound appreciation for the magical place he called home. As the night wore on, the group stumbled upon a clearing where fireflies performed a mesmerizing light show. The fireflies danced in harmony, creating breathtaking patterns in the night sky. Boris and his new friends watched in awe, feeling the enchantment of the forest all around them. Eventually, Boris knew it was time to say goodbye to his new otter friends and return to his cozy beaver den. With promises to meet again in future dreams, he bid them farewell. Back in his den, Boris woke up with a heart full of joy and gratitude. He knew that every night held the promise of a new adventure, and he couldn't wait to see where his dreams would take him next. Boris is feeling happy. The following night, as the moon hung high in the sky and the trees rustled gently in the wind, Boris embarked on the next chapter of his dreamy adventure. This time, Boris found himself in a beautiful forest clearing, surrounded by colorful flowers swaying gently in a soft breeze. He walked across the dew-kissed grass and admired the splendid flowers that bloomed in all the colors of the rainbow. The scents of the flowers filled the air, and their delightful aroma filled his nose. As Boris continued his walk, he stumbled upon a crystal-clear brook meandering through the forest. The water sparkled like diamonds in the gentle moonlight. Boris leaned over to take a sip of the refreshing water and felt rejuvenated and full of energy. Suddenly, he heard cheerful chirping and spotted colorful birds perched high in the trees. They sang the most beautiful songs and invited Boris to sing along with them. Although he didn't know the tunes, Boris began to sing with his deep, resonant voice, feeling one with the joyful melodies of the forest. After a while, Boris continued his journey and came across a serene pond. The smooth surface reflected the moon like a glistening pearl. Suddenly, a friendly turtle emerged and asked Boris if he wanted to take a ride on her back. Boris climbed onto the turtle, and together they drifted slowly across the tranquil water, savoring the peace of the night. As the night progressed, Boris felt surrounded by the beauty and serenity of the forest. He knew that each dream adventure brought him new insights and joy, and he felt grateful for the magical world he could explore while he slept. Eventually, Boris began to feel tired and made his way back to his familiar beaver den. As he crawled into his cozy bed, he smiled broadly and felt filled with happiness. He knew that many more adventures lay ahead, and he couldn't wait to experience them. And so, dear children, Boris reminded us that dreams give us the chance to visit places we may never see in the waking world. As you close your eyes every night, remember that your dreams can be just as adventurous as those of Boris the brave beaver. Dream big, explore new worlds, and cherish the wonders hidden within your own imagination. Sleep tight, adventurous dreamers. Until next time, when Boris takes you on another enchanting journey in dreamland.